This video is going to change how you farm Heralds in Reign of the Warlock. I've put hundreds of hours into testing this, consumed way too many World Stone shards in the process, just to map out the best routes and methods for maximizing your spawns. But none of that matters now. With 3.2 finally here, Heralds have been completely reworked. All of those unoptimized zones are going to go back to being just that. Forgotten zones that nobody talks about. Unless you shift your focus towards maximizing your elite kills per minute. Whether you want to get the most out of your World Stone shards, or take advantage of those rotating tier zones for your 99 grind, I've got you covered. And look, I'm a big believer that there's no single right way to play the game, and there's no such thing as useless data. So even though the meta is shifting, we're still going to share what we found. The coolest part about this whole project is that during our testing, we actually made some discoveries that, as far as I can tell, have never been reported. For a 25-year-old game, it's honestly wild that Diablo 2 still has this much depth. So, even though the farming landscape is changing, taking advantage of every rotating tier zone is still key to that 99 grind. I'm going to break down every single area of the game and share those discoveries with you along the way. Now, not everybody can be a D2 pro, so before we get into the meat of the video, we need to set some terms. Picture this. You're clearing a zone, and suddenly, you can't find any elite packs. You scour the map, only to find one tucked away in the far corner. Why did the zone suddenly fall off? This is because every area of the game has a preset minimum and maximum number of elites that can spawn. This is what we call a native cap. When I say elites, I'm talking about those special named groups you find drifting throughout Sanctuary. About 20% of those groups will roll into blue named champion packs in groups of about 2 to 5, giving you that extra little bit of loot and XP. Then you have super uniques. These are bosses and mini bosses that are guaranteed to spawn in specific spots. Whether it's Griswold or Andariel, they're forced to spawn every single time. Specific areas also have tile-linked champions. These ones are a little bit weird. They're forced to spawn in specific tiles of the game, but for the video, you could just think of them as mini super uniques. For anyone who missed the last video, if you change your pathing, you can actually force more elite packs to spawn than the native cap normally allows. The trick is simple. You have to spawn the super uniques and guaranteed champion packs last. It isn't always easy to pull off, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it for every single area of the game. Starting off with
Evil Beware.
the Bloodmoor is pretty straightforward, 7 to 8 elite packs with no super uniques. It has great monster density, but its elites can be pretty spread out. The best practice for this area is to clear within 2 screens of the town and hunt packs along the perimeter until you reach the end. If you make it 2 screens without seeing any elites, double back to clear out those last few elites. The Den of Evil is our first subzone of the game. If you dive into old game files, you'll see that the area is hard-coded for 2 to 4 packs. But because of this little feature, the entire area is quest-linked, leaving Corpse Fire as the only elite you'll find in the
They ask
zone.
you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't.
Internally, the Den shares its layout generation template directly with the standard Cave Level 1 files. In Classic, this meant once the Den was done and you hosted a new game, the name would change to Cave Level 1, even though the actual cave subzone itself never changed, leaving us with just Corpse Fire. Before patch 3.2, we used the Den to manipulate Herald spawns once the ire was drawn. Post-update, just enjoy the raw density for a fast clear, but feel free to skip this area if you're targeting raw efficiency. Cold Plains greets us with 7 to 9 elite packs with our first open world super unique, BC Bosh! This is the first area of the game where elite saturation is possible, but it can be a little tricky to pull off. Bishy Bosh is a super unique shaman that usually spawns in one of the area's fallen camps. If you manage to reach the last camp, you can squeeze out an extra pack in the area. My general strategy is to clear the area around the waypoint and follow the perimeter of the map until I hit about 5 or 6 elite packs. From there, I run to the nearest road and make my way to the cave. If I'm lucky, Bishy Bosh will give us an extra elite. The perimeter strategy works because you limit the viable elite spawn area to 1 screen rather than 2. This makes doubling back more effective and keeps you from wasting time zigzagging throughout the entire map. The cave rocks a total of 6 to 9 elite packs, split between 4 to 6 packs on level 1 and 2 to 3 packs on level 2. Cold Crow and her 7 archer minions on level 1 can be a little difficult for newer players, as she is the first super unique to tote both cold and lightning resistances. Her spawn on level 1 is relatively random, so saturation is possible but can be difficult to pull off. The strategy for the cave is to make a beeline for level 2 and full clear. The density is great, so even without saturation, it makes for an easy clear. The Burial Ground is a quest-linked area branching off of the Cold Plains and hosts Bloodraven and 2 subzones, the Crypt and the Mausoleum. Both subzones hold 4 to 5 elite packs each over a large area with low monster density. Saturation is only possible in the Crypt, and it's easier to achieve in other areas. The super unique Bone Break acts as a guard for the super chest at the end of the dungeon. The best strategy is to clear 1 or 2 screens around the entrance, and then take out the elites on your way to the super chest. Best practice for the Mausoleum is to make your way to the super chest, then move on. Neither area is really worth fully exploring without really good mobility. Stony Field has 4 to 6 packs with the Blue Menace himself. Rakanishu and his boys spawn within the Cairn Stones, which are always visible along the main road. To hit saturation, the strategy is to clear the packs around the waypoint, then follow the perimeter of the zone until about 5 packs. From there, follow the main road until you meet Rakanishu. Now, we've highlighted Tristram in the last video as one of the best examples of maximizing saturation. With 3 to 4 elite packs and predictable spawn locations for a super unique and a guaranteed champion group, Tristram is one of the prime examples to both maximize saturation and score bonus packs. Since 3.2, the game has been a little bit squirrely. We've had multiple games where saturation goes beyond the super saturation cap of 6 packs, and we've actually nailed 9 separate elite groups in Tristram alone, not including Herald spawns. Though relatively rare, we aren't complaining about the new bonus density. The Underground Passage is another forked zone capping at 6 to 8 elite packs, before splitting off between the Dark Wood and the smaller second level. Since the passageway is narrow and isn't set with a super unique, the best method is to straight line sprint to level 2, killing elites along the way. If you reach level 2 before clearing 6 packs at level 1, clear the full 2 to 3 packs on level 2, then head back to level 1 to clean it up. Oh, but be sure not to forget the super chest. Darkwood is our next surface zone with 4 to 6 elite packs, and has an extra strong super unique Tree Head. Depending on where you arrive in the zone, saturation is possible. Treehead and his group always spawn as a guardian pack for the Tree of Inifis, so avoid the forested areas until you hit at least 4 packs. From the waypoint, do a 2-screen spiral, and then make a beeline for the forested area. Black Marsh is a larger map with 6 to 8 elite packs. If you're running a build with relatively low mobility, bail around 5 packs and move on to the tower. If you're set on hitting the cap, stick to that perimeter method for faster packs and less exploration time. The tower levels 1 through 5 can host between 17 and 23 elite packs. Because the area is so large, the best method is to target elites and sneaky light radius groups along the main path towards the next floor. Now bear with me for a moment. The Countess is special. She's actually a quest-linked super unique, meaning spawning her doesn't count towards level 5's elite pack number. But if you manage to spawn her first, you may actually get less elites on level 5. Now I know what you're thinking. What do you mean she doesn't count, but she does? So the Countess herself doesn't count, but her pack size does. See, the Countess will always spawn with a very large monster group. It's the group itself that overloads the area's monster density seed. See, the Countess doesn't eat up an elite pack number, but her group size will actually prevent more monsters from spawning, including elites. This is why on rare occasions, you actually get an empty level 5 where no other monsters spawn. To maximize your spawns early, take a slightly wider arc along the sides. If she isn't too close, you'll get those bonus packs. Now we can't really talk about the next discovery without bundling the next 3 zones together. The Outer Cloister, the Monastery Gate, and the Tamoe? Yeah, that. If you scour old D2 forums for elite pack counts and numbers, look anywhere you could find, you'll see the Monastery Gate listed with a big fat 0. For years, the community wrote off this zone as just a transition tile, an overlap between the Cloister and Highlands with no real identity of its own. But in Diablo 2 Resurrected, that's not the full story. See, the Outer Cloister has a tiny native cap of about 1 to 2 elite packs, while the Highland spawns with a massive 6 to 8. Here's where it gets crazy. Even if you hit the maximum native cap for both of those zones, you can actually squeeze up to 3 bonus elite packs directly inside of the Monastery Gate. This isn't a map overlap glitch. It's a distinct mechanical event, and here's how we break it down. First, the game pulls from a unique monster pool for the gate, spawning disfigured, rogues, and skeletons that are specifically unique to the Monastery Gate. These specific monsters usually account for 1 to 2 of those bonus packs. On a bad seed roll, you might get 0. But wait, didn't he say 3 packs? Yes, the 3rd pack comes from a mechanical anomaly I like to call void spawns. Sometimes, an elite pack triggers in the black, unpathable void between the Outer Cloister and the Monastery Gate. When a champion pack spawns in this void, the game panics and splits the individual monsters, scattering them to the nearest clippable zones between the inner gate, outer wall, and the cloister itself. The best part, because the pack is fractured across boundaries, it doesn't count towards the elite pack limits of either zone. This means that both the Outer Cloister and the Monastery Gate can achieve true supersaturation with 0 tile-linked champions or super uniques. All it takes is a random and not so rare void spawn event. So, what does this mean for your farming efficiency and maximizing your elite kills per minute? Simple. Add a quick 5-second zigzag through the Monastery Gate on your way to the pit, check the walls, grab those free elites, and bank the extra XP and loot. Now, we got a lot more to talk about for void spawns in certain areas, but we'll have to save that for the next couple of videos. Now, if you're farming the Highland, the best bet is to rush to the pit. Most of the time, packs will be visible along the road, and by the time you get there, you've just about cleared the zone. If you're aiming for pure saturation, hug the perimeter and head over to the pit once you reached about 6 packs. The pit is a classic S-tier zone. 8 to 11 elite packs split between both levels and a super chest on level 2. Great density, no super uniques, and a relatively small area. It's an easy area for a full clear, so fight your way to level 2 and move along. Or loop back if you found level 2 early and only managed to grab a couple of packs. The Barracks is a fan favorite. It's got bookshelves, 6 to 8 elite packs, it's on a linear area, and super saturation is nearly impossible to miss thanks to the Smith's location at the very end of the zone. The best way to farm this area is to first learn how to quick read the Outer Cloister. If it's across, the top right, the rogue statue for the top left, and the garden for the bottom right. From there, grab that Outer Cloister, and on your way, run or TP straight to the end. Be sure to keep checking high walls for light radius features, hiding packs in the background. Sometimes these walls are hiding shamans, but if the light has a distinct hue to it, you've got champions. The jail is comprised of 3 distinct zones, rocking 9 to 15 total elite packs, with a super unique pit spawn hiding away on level 2. Pit spawn's location can be difficult to predict, so saturation is possible, but tricky to achieve. Best practice for the jail is to clear the immediate area around the stairs or waypoint depending on your entrance. Then, hug the diagonal corners until you reach the next level. Be sure to check for light radius hints. We don't want to rush to the middle of the area without an enigma or a teleport ability, since the corners can be tight and walk around points can make finding elite groups more difficult than it needs to be. The Inner Cloister and Cathedral can be grouped together, since you'll never be clearing one without the other. Remember, Inner Cloister has a native cap range from 1 to 2 elite packs. Be sure to do a quick sweep of the bottom left corner and the top right corner before you enter the Cathedral. The Cathedral has 2 to 3 elite packs with Bone Ash at its center. Saturation is pretty consistently achievable if Bone Ash doesn't spawn in the middle pew area. To get it consistently, do a half step into both side corridors, then rush towards the center. This allows you to cover most of the Cathedral spawn area without triggering Bone Ash directly, landing you consistent 4 to 5 packs a run, running it together with the Inner Cloister. Catacombs level 1 to 4 is the final zone of Act 1, but not all levels are equal. Even though the total area covers 13 to 20 elite packs, each area is impacted by its own map size and density. While level 2 has great elite density and makes for a fast clear, levels 1 and 3 are considerably larger with an even greater spacing between elite packs. If you want to make the most of your time, the optimal path is to clear out the Inner Cloister and Cathedral, then move directly on to level 2, and then clear your packs on the way down to Andy. Before 3.2, when the Eye of Herald was drawn, we would actually move to level 1 to get Heralds to spawn. But if you have the mobility, teamwork, or clear speed, for Heralds and Sunders, I'd give level 1 a chance. But chances are, if Catacombs is the rotating terror zone, you'll be focused running Andy for some extra loot. Mini bonus is the secret cow level, 6 to 8 elite packs with the Cow King directly inside or at the bottom of the pasture tile. The cow level always feels hot with elites when you start, but tapers off pretty quickly. This is because of the area's super high mob density over a large area. General rule of thumb is after the Cow King, if you don't see any packs within 2 screens, move along to the next game. And don't forget, this zone cannot be activated with shards, so take advantage while the rotating zone is going. And be sure to keep an extra leg in your stash for a faster start. Now that about sums up Act 1. A bit of a longer video, but we got 4 more acts to go, so stay tuned for the next one. And if you made it this far, let us know in the comments what your favorite zone is and why. And don't worry, new video every week. We'll be getting this series done pretty quick. See you soon. I've never actually had the chicken get stuck underneath the model before. This is actually a first for me.